Hello. I'm using the computer microphone, so if the sound's bad, I'm sorry. Also, I'm in this empty attic here, so there's quite a bit of echo. I hope this is going to work. Yesterday, when I uploaded the video about my walk through London, or the Buckingham Palace area of London anyway, the other day, I also happened to, and I was talking about how something like that brings the country together. Even the sadness of the occasion has its upside. And then at the same time, I discovered that there was a running battle going on between Muslims and Hindus in Leicester. So it's not everybody who is together. But I just want to point out something else before I get onto the Leicester business. There were plenty of people who said they haven't seen so many white people all in one place, you know, when I was taking the camera around looking at London. Well, as a matter of fact, if you look, you'll see there were many ethnic minorities there, but they were in about the same proportion as they are to the population. That is, about 13%. And there was no artificiality about it. So that's what we're not used to, especially when we're watching television programmes, because they bump it up to maybe 20 or 30% in TV programmes. And of course, when there's trouble in the streets between ethnic minorities, they tend to be all of the same ethnicity. So you get a skewed picture of this sort of thing. Or if you're looking at certain inner city areas like Tower Hamlets, it's almost 100%. But actually, that's a very small percentage of the population. So you have to remember how visually we are occasionally lied to, not deliberately most of the time, but yeah, when it comes to adverts or television shows, it probably is deliberate lying. And, well, we've just got to be aware of that. But if you look at the crowds in London on that Sunday, you will see that there's about 13% of ethnic minorities in the crowd, which is about right. All right, so we've got that out of the way. But here is an example of where a lot of brown people are shouting at each other very rudely. Now, what's happened is this. There was a cricket match, I think, between India and Pakistan. That's what was supposed to have set it off. There was some sort of, well, there is rivalry. And this erupted into violence. A rumour went round among the Muslims in Leicester that the Hindus had trashed a mosque. As a matter of fact, they hadn't. And as a matter of fact, this is the sort of thing that Muslims, I'm sorry to say, tend to do to other houses of worship. They're the ones who tend to do the trashing. So they were just projecting at that point. And look, I have to say that my sympathies are with the Hindus here. I don't know who started it. I mean, there are different stories, who started it, who's to blame and all the rest of it. But in general, my sympathies are weighted a little bit more on the side of the Hindus because the Muslims have form on this sort of thing and the Hindus don't in this country. In India, there are problems. I understand that. And it's possible this is coming from India. But again, just going on form, I suspect it's got more to do with fundamentalist Islam than with Hinduism. But I could be completely wrong. Now, let's just have a look at this fellow here and what he's saying. Okay, I put subtitles there for you.
So basically, we're down here on Belgrave Road right now. The way this whole situation started today, for the past week, everything's been calm. We've been telling the Muslim community, stay calm, stay peaceful, everything's under control. Yeah, police have got everything under control, like their shoulders, etc. The reality is, the cowards, the Yusufa thugs, yeah, who are picking Muslims out one by one at night and attacking them 30 against 1.
Look, I don't believe that 30 against 1 business. I actually do not believe that. And as for him calling the Hindus who were attacking Muslims, and that might have happened, cowards, I would like to point out that Muslims seem to go around in packs in certain areas of London attacking people they see, like gay people or Jews. They've been known to do that in groups. So if he calls Hindus who attack Muslims cowards, then he has to take that for, let's put it this way, I don't notice him criticising Muslims who do the same thing to members of other ethnicities. And yeah, that's it's just hypocritical, isn't it? Okay, let's go on.
Went into hiding. Yeah, for the past whole week, everything's been peaceful. None of them have been coming out. The locals in the area near Green Lane Road, they've all said everything for 1 week it's been peaceful. They've not had to call the police or anything for a change because the troublemakers went into hiding. Now today, out of the blue, there's about 200 of them.
I saw pictures of it. There were nowhere near 200 of them. There was a group of Hindus, and there may have been, I don't know what, 80, 50, something like that. Not 200.
Area, past the masjid.
Right. And did you see that? Our area. This is Leicester. It's not a Muslim area. Although, you know, we have to remember that, for instance, in Belfast, there were Catholic areas and Protestant areas. So sometimes you do get this sort of division. But, you know, this is their area and Hindus aren't supposed to be there. Don't like that.
Provoking the Muslim community, chanting whatever they were chanting, yeah? Now they're inciting, they're causing a problem, and they're actually instigating it. This is why the Muslim community have now come out. If you just let me record this part down here.
You must notice this. The Hindus are bad for assembling en masse, but the Muslims, they're just defending themselves. They're just being reasonable. And there are Hindu places of worship in that area.
Muslim community came out. We actually challenged them. So we won't allow this.
He won't allow it. He won't allow Hindus to assemble. But have they actually broken anything? Have they thrown anything? Have they pushed anybody around? Well, he's not saying that, so I assume that didn't happen. It's just that they're there en masse in his area.
Our community, and the police kept saying there's a minority. Maybe there's a small 30, 40 of them, or maybe there's a small number of them who are causing this trouble. As we can see today, clearly, there's not a small minority.
Just a minute, I see a lot of police there. I can't see that many people behind them, though. Of course, it's a bit difficult to look there. Right, did you hear that? Here's the war cry, and they're frightened.
There's hundreds of them.
Hundreds of them. Now it's not 200, it's hundreds of them. That's even more, isn't it?
Nobody in the Hindu community is addressing or acknowledging this problem.
Look, you know, there was a group of Muslims driving through Golders Green a few months ago, shouting through a loudhailer, I shall have to cut some of that word out, but you get the idea. It's what nasty men do to women who get into their power at the wrong time. So they were driving through Golders Green, saying that they wanted the Jewish women and wives and daughters of the Jewish men. And now he's talking about an absolute silence from the rest of the Muslim community. Absolute silence. I haven't seen anybody from the Muslim community condemning that. Actually, I haven't seen the police getting too much action on this either. However, And he's complaining that the police aren't acting quickly enough against the Hindus. Have the Hindus actually done anything? You see, still, he's not said that, as I said, there was this rumour going round that the Hindus had trashed a mosque, but they hadn't. So he's not saying that. He's not saying that anybody's been attacked. He's not saying that anybody's been hurt. He's not saying that any Muslim place of worship has been upset in any way. And he expects the police to act for him anyway.
Yeah, and we won't allow this to carry on.
Yeah, they don't like the crowds. We won't allow this. He's not saying we're defending ourselves. He's saying we won't allow this. There's a subtle difference in attitude there.
And this is why the Muslim community are extremely annoyed today, and they're out here in their hundreds today, bro. And
in their hundreds. Right. So, you know, that's justified. But the Hindus, not.
We won't accept this kind of stuff in our community. Police got absolutely nothing under control.
It seems like they're controlling things very well. There's a line of them back there holding the Hindus back, and there's apparently a line in front of the Muslims. Nothing is happening, right? That's the police being in control, isn't it?
Absolutely nothing under control. They don't even know.
But what the police aren't doing is taking the Muslim side for a strange reason, which is rather unusual in British police nowadays.
So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a quick update.
Okay, now there's another piece of video. Just a minute. You see, I'm trying to do this while I'm propping the computer up. Okay, so this is a follow-up video by somebody else.
It's a message from Birmingham.
Okay, so this guy here is wearing a mask, which is, as he knows, threatening. And it's not polite. And he's not telling the Hindus to go away, you know, leave us in peace. We're peaceful people. This is the religion of peace and all the rest of it. He is wearing a mask and he's making threats. And I want to tell you something about him. From his accent, I assume he is not. He says this is a message from Birmingham, but his accent, I could be wrong, but it seems to me to be more Liverpool than Birmingham. And if it is Liverpool, then it means there are Muslims coming from all over the country to bolster up this communal violence, or the idea of communal threats.
BJP and the RSS Hindu supporters, you're not welcome in Birmingham, you're not welcome in Leicester, you're not welcome in Nottingham, you're not welcome anywhere in the UK. Now,
did you see, he's speaking for the UK. What he's speaking for is the Muslims of the UK, and he's telling the Hindus that they can't turn up there. And he's accusing them of bringing in people from India to start a row. I mean, there might be people from India there, but I shouldn't think there's a concerted invasion going on. So he's got some weird thing in his head about this, which is both disturbing and frightening and mad as well.
None of your speakers, anyone you're trying to call these hate speakers that come down, we're going to turn up for all of them. So stop organising this bullshit. We're here now, outside the Monday.
So they've assembled outside a Hindu place of worship. And you'll see in a minute, you'll see there's quite a crowd there.
Protest, we're not causing no trouble, but we turned up just to let you know if you come down.
So he's saying we haven't destroyed it yet. We haven't done anything to it yet. But the implication is we can and we will if we feel so inclined.
Oh, we're going to be here for you. Come look, show them, look around. Even the speakers cancelled. Look how many men have turned up.
Look at those crowds.
We've got no issue with Hindus that are from Britain. We've got no...
Oh, he's got no issues with Hindus from Britain. Well, that's nice. I'm sure they're very relieved. How is he, if he's patrolling the street and sees somebody who appears to be a Hindu, how's he going to know where this Hindu is from? And this is very, very stupid. I mean, he's talking in a very stupid way, an emotional, idiotic way. And that, of course, it doesn't reflect well on him. It doesn't reflect very well on his fellow Muslims either, come to that.
With British Hindus, we grew up with them, we know all of them. But the rest of you BJP, RSS freshies, if you come in, you're going to get met by us every single time. So if you want to come to Birmingham...
Just look how he's waving his finger at you, you know, like that. That's an aggressive action, by the way, body language, you know.
Leicester, Nottingham, London. Just give us a time and a place and we're there.
Yeah, that sounded very Liverpool to me. And you know, you saw how you a big shot there. Yeah, I'm a big fella. I'm going to wave my finger at you. It does not bode well. And a few, what we call Asians here in Britain, are saying, but from many sides of the divide, you know, don't bring your communal fights here. But they are here. Look, they are here. And if the government in any way lets them get away with this, then it's just going to get worse. So the government had better smarten up. And sorry about the knocking, it's banging against the window. Sorry about that. The government had just better sort this out now. And serious talk about expulsions and that sort of thing for whipping up, literally, hate speech. This is really what hate speech is about. Okay, well, I'm Granny Opterix. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. I let you know when I've uploaded a video on Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I am at Granny Opterix. Please support my channel by liking, sharing and subscribing. That's a great help. And yeah, you can contribute financially as well. Buy me a coffee, Subscribe Star and PayPal. And the links are all below. All right, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Granny Opterix design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.grannyopterix.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.